If you're an artist, music producer, DJ, label owner, podcaster, then you're going to want to see this. This is the future, my friends. How's it going, guys? Steve Riggs, Anarchy Audio Works, and welcome to the very first episode of the Anarchy Cast, where we're going to be talking to industry people, whether they be artists, developers, anything like that, just to see their creative processes and see how they tick and a little bit more behind the scenes of the industry and what's going on. Today, we're going to be talking to Jose Serrano from Mozart Audio. They've developed an app called Musicbox, which is really going to help us artists and musicians out, sending files to labels, sending files to other musicians, keeping everything safe, and they're also working some really other exciting stuff as well, which is going to be good for podcasters, anybody in the NFT space, anybody in crypto. So let's get into the interview, see what he's got to say. Okay, Jose, how's it going, man?
Well, I'm doing well. How are you doing, Steve?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, really good. It sounds like you got some exciting stuff going on at the minute, man. You want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and about Musicbox and what we can expect in the future coming up?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I grew up in Chicago, so Chicago native. Went on to go to school and college at Stanford University, and while there, kind of dove into music and started to do what I really love. And I was managing artists independently. I went on to work at a record label, Warner Records. And while there, I was an A&R coordinator. So I worked on the research side, was working, with different albums, the albums that they were doing. So helping the senior vice presidents. Nice. And kind of started there, then went on to jump into management. So worked with Juicy J's management team under a company called Spivak Management. Okay. So kind of on the legal end with the writers, the producers. And then Musicbox, which is now Mozart, Musicbox by Mozart, started about a year ago. I got connected to a man named Sareen Shah. He's one of the co-founders. He was the 10th engineer of YouTube. So, we started to ideate, and we were, me working in the music industry, I was like, there's an issue with file sharing, and security. Yeah. And people don't really, trust the systems that we have now, or there are certain loopholes where people are getting songs leaked. So we were like, hey, let's cover this issue and let's actually try to put a timestamp and an inaudible watermark to protect artists.
That's a wicked idea. Really good idea.
Yeah, there's a sense of origination. And so starting there, we got into Web3, kind of thinking about, hey, just an inaudible watermark is kind of like putting a song on the blockchain because it's being tracked in this kind of, new version of the web that they're creating. And that's how we kind of got to the baseline of what our idea is. So in the future, kind of what you can expect from Musicbox down the line is a place where not only can you manage your files, but you'll be able to distribute them within Web3, meaning any of the metaverses, streaming platforms, whatever's built, we'd be kind of the tracker for that.
That's amazing, man. Really good idea, that. Just a quick thank you to the sponsors of today's show, JK Attire. JK Attire are an awesome clothing brand from Manchester in the UK, and they're bridging the gap between luxury and streetwear. I've been absolutely hammering their products on the daily for the last few months since I discovered the brand, and my whole wardrobe has basically now become their stuff. As you can see, I'm covered in it right now, as usual. Their designs are just incredible, and their clothes are super comfortable. I refuse to wear anything other than their tracksuits and jackets at the moment, so it's a pleasure to have them as part of the Anarchy Cast today. Go and check them out at jkattire.co.uk. Links will be in the description if you want some mega comfy, stylish and affordable new threads. If you use my referral code, which is on the screen right now, you can bag yourself a 10% discount on any product across the whole store. You are welcome. Now, back to today's interview. Yeah, that's one thing about, file sharing and stuff like that. Anyway, it's just like your stuff might get leaked and it might end up in the wrong hands, and it, before release or whatever, it's like you really got to be careful with stuff like that. So that's a brilliant feature, man. What made you build the app in the first place? What did you feel was missing from the other things? I know you already said about the watermarks and stuff. That's great. Like stuff like WeTransfer and SoundCloud, I suppose, competitors, if you like. But I think this is going to take over, man. I prefer to use this at the moment anyway. What made you just kickstart the project?
Yeah, I guess, for us, we saw that there isn't really a file sharing system built for audio or musicians. So right now, like there's something called frame.io. If you would look them up, they're file sharing, but video file sharing, where I could send you a video, you can comment timestamped, you can even put an email gate in front of the video so that I have to put my email in to even view it.
Yeah.
So we were like, hey, those features are things like, musicians care about, whether they're at the small level, at the high level, security matters.
Yeah.
And also like being able to track how someone listens. Everyone's always wondering that, like, hey, I just sent this song to a manager, an A&R, a friend.
Yeah.
Did they even open it? They're telling me they listen, but how many times did they play it?
Yeah.
So we were like, let's build a business tool for creators or musicians. And so that's kind of like how we got to that idea right
that's
there.
Brilliant, man. Yeah, I'm loving that feature as well. So when you send stuff to labels, that is a perfect example, man. It's like, yeah, that's going to be really handy, that is. While we're on the subject of record labels, Anarchy AudioWorks has just launched 2 in-house record labels, Anarchy Neon, which is going to be geared towards synthwave and more 80s sounds, and Anarchy Black, which is our metal label. First release on Anarchy Black is out now, and it is our band, A Beautiful Retribution. The album is I Am the Poison, and you can get it now on Bandcamp if you want the physical CDs. It's also available for digital download on there, and you can stream it on all major streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, everything else. Go and check it out. Let us know what you think. But anyway, back to the interview. Yeah, really cool, man. I mean, it's really intuitive. Like, as soon as you open it up, really intuitive, easy to use. Did you have like a set of specific goals when you went into the project, like how it was going to be laid out, and testing it and stuff, or was it just a, trial and error as you went along, and just adding extra things and stuff like?
Yeah, a little bit of both, to be honest. With any product, we're a team of 4 people, but like product really matters. And, rule number 1 is to always talk to the customer. So it's not like I just thought of the idea, or we thought of the idea and just started building.
Yeah.
We thought of the idea, we had our hypothesis, and then went and talked to the different groups of producers. So we went through my network. Mm-hmm. We talked to about maybe 60 musicians by the time we actually started to build. So we knew exactly, this is what they would want. Oh, this is the kind of analytics. Or, hey, it should be framed this way, and make it super simple because that's what musicians want. So, we started there, and then it was trial and error. To be quite frank, we started with, kind of just analyzing BPM and key and kind of creating a manager. And then we were like, hey, this is good. They like it. But I think we saw that our testers really wanted to share. That's a more frequent, use of the musician versus managing. Managing is, some musicians do it, some don't. So once we started building the sharing piece out, then the playlist thing, we really started to see, hey, okay, they're using it. And, we have like 40% retention, which is very, high compared to what you would normally expect. So.
That's wicked, man. Is this like the first app that you've built then? Have you got any other apps that you're working on or that you've worked on in the past?
This is the first like official app. In college, my senior project was, so I did a music program with Stanford and Warner, where it was more business ended. So I was an intern there, worked on the consulting end. And basically my senior project when I got back to school was to find artists faster. So I built or thought of an idea of, basically we scraped SoundCloud's data, looked at the middle tier artists with like 5,000 to 100,000 followers. We put them in the app, and as a user, you would choose city and genre and be able to find artists faster.
Nice.
So London house, Chicago hip hop, LA rock, and then you'd get a list of artists and swipe through them.
That's awesome. We were talking the other day. You said something about a podcasting thing. Can we talk about that now? Or is that a bit more hush-hush?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
So part of the grand idea of why we are Mozart and not just Musicbox is under Mozart. Right. So in Web3, like I said, there are going to be these different applications being built. They don't call them apps. They're called dApps, decentralized applications.
Okay.
And so, people like, once again, you have Facebook Meta, then you have different worlds. People are creating video games, X, Y, and Z. So what we decided is, hey, let's once again be the distributor of audio, similar to what DistroKid is or Anchor for specific platforms right now in Web 2, meaning like Spotify, YouTube. DistroKid will get your music out everywhere. You would come to us and, we would distribute your music through Web3. So within audio, there's also podcasts. So one thing that, we're building alongside Musicbox is another app called Voice or Voices. That's kind of what we're coining the name at, right now. It may change. Voices under Mozart. And basically, it's a decentralized podcast tool where we're creating a listen to earn system. So, awesome. Podcasters can actually make some money, and then fans can, earn crypto as they listen to more, podcasts.
That's insane. That's insane. So you're actually rewarding the listeners for listening to the show with crypto and the podcaster as well. It's a win-win for everyone, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
100%.
Yeah. Absolutely loving that. And you can use that, like so I was saying, I was going to be using the Spotify one. You can use it alongside other platforms as well. It's not an exclusive thing. So, so if anybody's already got a podcast, they can still use this as an extra to what they're already doing and earn crypto.
Exactly.
It's a no-brainer, man. It's a no-brainer. When's that going to be released? Any ideas? Is it still in development, or have you got any plans for, dates or anything where you think it will be done?
Yeah, so it's actually in development right now. We should have a product in 3 to 5 weeks.
Nice.
Where we'll be
soon.
testing.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have like designs next week. So we're like moving at a quick pace. And the idea too with the token is, that's a part of our company. So we're basically giving equity. And one thing about decentralization is like this community-driven applications where it's not just us that decide all of the rules and hold all the power. With that coin, it's basically saying, hey, you own a part of Mozart. You can make decisions too.
That's really cool, man. I can see a lot of people jumping on this. This is going to be big, man. I'm on it already. I'm already on it. Already on it, man. Already on it. Okay. Next question. How did you start the process of building the app, and how did you prepare yourself and your team for it?
Yeah, so we started off, like I said, by first questioning going through user interviews where we talked to some of these creators. And then from there, we drew up mocks, designs. And from designs, went and checked in with the users we were talking to. Once we got feedback, we started to build on the back end of the app. So like building the infrastructure. As we were doing that, we were obviously keeping our users updated. They helped us through the process. We created an affiliate marketing link where, hey, if you brought in 5 people to our wait list, you would move up the spots to test the app. And then with that, you could potentially get extra space. As when the app would be made, you'd get 10 gigabytes. Kind of was really piece by piece and, kind of not rushing to the gates and say, hey, we built something and just test it out, but, really working on growth as, on the back end, the engineers were working. So really cool. Everybody had a position, like me as a non-technical person, I was always talking to people. The engineer was busy working with the designer. And so,
Really cool, man. Really cool. I mean, when you was in development, did you hit any major roadblocks? Something that you wasn't expecting to happen? And if you did, how did you resolve them? Yeah,
honestly, we definitely did. Before we kind of got into the Web3 space and kind of, this, distribution idea, we had the music manager and just the music manager itself. And like I said, we kind of came out testing with a kind of music manager versus the sharing and the management put together. And so, when we started that way, we didn't really see as much traction and as much retention. So we were, pretty hurt, to be honest. Not hurt, but just like, oh man, like kind of in a little rut. What is it? you know?
Yeah.
And so we did have to go back to the drawing board there. And so, not to say it was like 2 months of a waste of time building, but you just have to learn that, hey, this is not going to be an easy process. And we
That's
were
it.
bootstrapping it, paying for it ourselves. So it was like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's it. It can always be a killer when it's like that. And it's, you're funding it yourself and you got that big gap of time. It's just like, whoa, nothing's happening. We got to fix this. Yeah, but now fair play. You got it done pretty quick by the sounds of it, man. Yeah, I was going to say, how do you keep your team and yourself organized throughout the process? I mean, do you use any kind of like project management apps or, any sort of disciplines for yourself and your team?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll kind of touch upon two things. First, just being in different places. So, we didn't all, kind of being a startup, it's not like we just start and have an office, we're all kind of working out of our own spaces.
Yeah.
So kind of, having daily check-ins is really good as a team.
Yeah.
15 minutes at the end of the day. Hey, this is what I did for the day. Hey, this is what, the CEO did. And we can kind of just stay on top of each other, ask each other questions,
Yeah.
hold each other accountable. And then we have an app called Notion. Notion is super helpful in terms of like tracking everything from engineering to product to growth. You create these like, different departments and you can like click into tabs, into tables, comment on things. Everyone can see the updates. So we use that. And then we also use Slack as kind of like our business messenger.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that Notion then. I've been using Evernote a lot for organising myself, but when it's the team, it's a bit more like Asana. We tried Asana and now we're looking at like a few other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll take a look at that then, man. Nice one. Okay,
Great.
next question. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, talking about, all the stuff on the blockchain and the crypto part of it. You said there's going to be some kind of NFT thing that you're building into Musicbox. How's that going to work?
Yeah, so the NFT feature is definitely on the roadmap. We're thinking, probably later this year, only because the space is really saturated right now.
Yeah,
and I think, a lot of people are seeing it as like quick money grabs when what it really is actually something very special. Like the NFT is kind of like a collectible.
Yeah.
So for any artist, there has to be obviously education into what this is. So that's what we want to do. And so with the NFT and what it'll be for artists is we're trying to make it very simple where you can put your splits in. You can, you don't have to have crypto in order to like create the NFT. You can come in with your dollars. We convert it on the back end.
Nice.
And then, you'll be able to say, manage your files, click mint NFT on a song. You can make an exclusive song, right? Something that can only be streamed if you have this NFT.
Nice.
You can have it be an introduction into like a fan club. So, now that you have this NFT, you're now in my fan club. You're going to get weekly, monthly updates from me. You'll get to chat with me once a day, or once every month or something.
Yeah.
So we're trying to actually bring the utility side to it so that it is an actual collectible versus, hey, it's another money grab.
Yeah. I think that's a really good way to do it. So it's exclusive, so they can only play if they have it. That makes it even more scarce. You know what I mean? It's just like some of the other ones. If you download the file, then that can still get shared. But
Exactly.
that's like that makes it super. For whoever's bought it, that's mine. No, it's really cool, man. Yeah. That's really cool. I mean, is it going to be free to mint the NFTs on the platform as well, or is there any gas fees or anything like that?
So yeah, there probably will be a gas fee, and we haven't figured out the economics of everything yet on that end. Whether it's there's a subscription in order to mint X amount of NFTs. Right now, gas fees are fluctuating within price. So we're just trying to obviously make it as efficient for everyone, the user and ourselves. So we're looking into the different areas in which you can mint at a good price.
Okay, that's really cool, man. Yeah, it sounds like you got a lot going on, man. I mean, how do you go about switching off and relaxing when you're in the middle of this mad development mission? You know what I mean? Have you got any tips and stuff that, to actually switch off and just turn off your overthinking mind?
Yeah, it's actually tough because, with the startup, every day, you can work every day, basically, never ends. You know, on my end, there's always someone to talk to, you know, in terms of like people reaching out to hear more about, you know, Mozart and the apps that we're developing. So it's like, I could just be busy every day, at every hour, but, you know, I do try to find time to, cut off completely. So I'll put my phone on do not disturb. I'll go for runs usually. That's my piece is, you know, going on a nice 4 or 5 mile run. I'm a long distance runner. Nice. So that's, you know, my piece. Reading helps. Sometimes even just, you know, taking a breather, going outside and, you know, going for a walk, seeing friends, you know, just it can be overwhelming when, you know, it's a startup because it's my baby.
Exactly.
So it's like, I always want to be on it. If I'm not working for a day, then I feel like, you know, I'm not as productive as I should be, but you know, that's finding that balance.
Yeah, that's it. I really have to police that myself. It's just like, if you take a day off, you start feeling guilty that you're not working hard enough. It's just like, well, somebody's chasing you anyway, and it's just like, oh, I've really got to get this done. It's like, oh, I just want to just take a day off and play Xbox, man. You know, you really have, like, I think it's just as important to have your chill time as it is your work time, man, because, you know, you can't pour from an empty cup, can you? You've really got to keep yourself sane while you're doing it. Otherwise, you know, the project's going to suffer in the end. So yeah, fair play. That sounds like a good shout, man. What have you learned from the whole development process then? If you started over, would there be anything that you'd have done differently, or, you know, anything like that?
I'd say, you know, one thing that we may have done differently, and this is, you know, very honest, is like, you know, but this could be with any company, is, you know, when you have the idea and you do the questioning, that's one thing. But then there's the whole growth side. You should always be wary of where you start that growth and what you're promising, because, you know, we started growth very early, which is great. We have, I guess, you know, over 8,000 people that we email blast to. You know, but not all 8,000 people have tested the app yet. And so I feel like, you know, we spent a good deal of time doing growth, but the product wasn't necessarily ready for like 5 months after we started growth. So some of those early people may have dropped off a bit, you know, and so, you know, one thing is that I've learned is, you know, just timing things better. In general, you got to kind of really know your timeline. Okay, development, if we're going to be done in 3 months, maybe we start the growth, or we go hard on growth a month ahead of time, or 60 days versus, you know, 90 days. And another thing is that I've learned is it just doesn't come. You know, you're going to fall on your face. You're going to have really bad days. There was a day when the app crashed and we had to, you know, debug it for a day. And we had to tell our users, listen, we're going through maintenance, which most companies do. You know, some companies would do that, say, hey, we're scheduling maintenance from these hours. So like, I finally got that, like, whole concept of, oh, sometimes things break and you just got to fix them.
You got to
everything's going to be perfect.
No, fair play. That's it. It's like, oh man, I had so many things like that as well myself. It's just like, you just got to dust yourself off, and hopefully people understand it. That's it, man. It's like, you know, but it is, again, you get too excited and you're just like, I really want to get this out, see what people are saying. And it's just like, sometimes you put it out too early and something breaks and people are just like, oh damn, okay. But no, that's it. Most people understand. They're just like, it's in beta, you know? So it's just like, it's one of them. That's it. I mean, and then you can see how it progresses along when you get to the final product and you go, it's ace, you know, it works. That's awesome then, man. I mean, like, it's actually out now, right? You can get Musicbox now. Where can we find you on, you know, social media? If you've got a website, anything like that, I'll put all the links in the description. But yeah, where can we find you and where can we get the app from?
Yeah, so right now the app is available to test on web. So we don't have an app on the App Store yet. You know, it needs to be perfect before we do that. But you can test it. The link is share.usemusicbox.com. I believe that should be the correct one in order to just try it on the web. And then we have, use musicbox.com/downloads in order to download it and get the desktop version. I preferably love the desktop version. You just have the icon down there. You just click it.
Brilliant.
Boom, you're in.
Yep.
But that's where you can find it. We find us. We have a Discord, a Musicbox Discord. I'll give you the link to that.
Yeah,
we have an Instagram, which is Mozart.audio. So we've, changed the name or announced our larger company name. And so, Mozart.audio on Instagram. You can find me. I go by Serrano Pepper. My last name's Serrano. So Serrano Pepper with 3 R's at the end. That's my Instagram. And then I'm also on LinkedIn as Jose Serrano and,
Awesome. Nice one, man. Well, good luck with everything that you're doing, man. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on and I'll be using the apps and stuff as well. But yeah, nice one for taking the time out to talk to us today, man.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Yeah, no worries,
I appreciate it.
No worries, man. I'll speak to you soon, bud. Thank you.